time for Pac-12 Volleyball on the Palouse as we welcome you inside Bowler Gymnasium in Pullman, Washington, as the Washington State University Cougars are hosting the California Golden Bears. Hi again, everybody. Steve Grubbs heading your way as the Cougars wrap up a 4-match homestand. It did feature their first loss of the season at home. That came at the hands of the Stanford Cardinal on Friday night. Meanwhile, for the California Golden Bears, they're looking for their first conference win, period. They were across the state, and they lost to the Huskies in straight sets on Friday. For Washington State on Friday night, they knew it wasn't going to be easy as they were taking on a top 10 Stanford team, and Stanford jumped out to an early lead in set number 1, but Washington State would rally to come back to even things up at 22 apiece. Magdia Halashva got off to an early start for Washington State. She finished with 12 kills and 7 blocks. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, they had some pretty good offense and some pretty good defense as well, as Julian Normal would keep a play alive. That would set up a Laurie Janssen kill, and Laurie Janssen once again getting to double digits in kills again for Washington State, as again it was back and forth really all night long between Washington State and Stanford, but ultimately the Stanford Cardinal would prevail, and for the Cougars, they would fall for the first time at home this season inside Bowler Gymnasium. Meanwhile, in the 3 sets, Washington State lost by just a combined 8 points, and as we mentioned, Magda doing her defensive type things with 7 blocks. Meanwhile, across the state, it was Maren Grote going up against her sister, Lydia Grote, who plays for the California Golden Bears. And it was the Washington Huskies who would have a good performance from Maren Grote as she would help lead the way. And the Huskies also ended up with the sweep over California as they won in 3 straight over in Seattle inside Alaska Airlines Arena. It has been a tough season for the California Golden Bears, but as we mentioned, Lydia Grote, she did finish with 8 kills and a couple of digs. Meanwhile, for Maren Grote, she too would do a pretty good job in her sisterly battle, but it was the usual suspects. Claire Hoffman, also Audra Williams leading the way for the Huskies. For California, it's been tough going not only this season, but also against Washington State when it comes to the previous past. How about 6 straight losses to Washington State, and Washington State has not dropped a set in a while against California. It's the Golden Bears, it's the Cougars. We got starting lineups, and first serve, it's coming up next from Bowler Gymnasium. We welcome you inside Bowler Gymnasium here on a Sunday afternoon as it's the Washington State University Cougars getting set to take on the California Golden Bears. California 7-14 on the season, still looking for their first conference win. Washington State right in the middle of a whole mess of teams at the top half of the conference. They're at 7-4 in the conference, 15-7 overall, and wrap up a 4-match homestand here today. Let's take a look at your California starting lineups. Leah Schmidt will be an outside hitter. She is a junior out of Westlake, Ohio. Also Peyton Desjardins, another outside hitter for this Cal team. Your middle blockers, Michaela Hayden and Sophie Scott. Meanwhile, the starting setter will be Kendall Jensen. Lydia Grote, the senior, the right side hitter for California. And Tara Desaw is their libero, the Cal Golden Bears, coached by Sam Crossan. Meanwhile, for the Washington State University Cougars and their starting lineup, it will be Carly Basham, the libero, the senior out of Louisville, Kentucky. Lara Janssen and Pia Timmer, your outside hitters. Katie Ryan, the right side hitter, 6'5" sophomore out of Rathdrum, Idaho. Arnhina Ung, 6' junior out of Sonora, Mexico, your setter. Nagia Halasheva and Veronica Vodulia will be in the middle for Washington State. And, of course, the Cougars coached by Jen Greeny. All right, teams are lined up. The referees are ready to go. And just like that, it's Pac-12 volleyball here on the Palouse as Carly Basham will get things started here in the opening set. And we're underway from Pullman. And on the overpass, Pia Timmer will put it away for Washington State. And the Cougars will draw first blood. So Pia picking up her first kill of the match. Pia, in Friday night's match against Stanford, became the first Cougar, or not the first Cougar, but the 12th Cougar all-time to reach 1,100 kills in her career. First on this team to get to 1,100 for Washington State kills. All right, the set this time to the middle, blocked back by Cal. Now Timmer one more time. A good dig, but all the way across the net that time by the attempt there from Desjardins, and Pia Timmer with a couple of early kills here for Washington State. Mentioned that she was the 12th Coug all-time to get to 1,100 kills. She's only 15 away now from joining the top 10 list in Cougar history as far as kills accrued during their Cougar career. Her 2 kills have made it 2-0 Washington State. Another difficult serve by Basham results in a free ball here for the Cougars. This time set to Katie Ryan, and that one will get the pass block attempt of Lydia Grote, and it's 3 quick points for Washington State as they've opened up with 3 in a row. Cougars and Cal both playing Friday, both losing on Friday, both in straight sets. The Cougars to a nationally ranked Stanford team, California across the strait to the nationally ranked Huskies. All right, the back set to the right. Cal gonna miss that one long on the attempt that time from Leah Schmidt. So 4 consecutive points for Washington State. And the Cougars are off to a hot start here in this one. So first 4 points to the Cougars. Cougars and Cal meeting for the 2nd time this season. Cougars swept Cal in Berkeley, and now an ace from Carly Basham. So 5 consecutive from Washington State, and some pretty good serving here from Carly Basham to get the day started. It's been a couple of Pia Timmer kills, a kill from Katie Ryan, then an attacking error from Cal, and now an ace from Carly. Carly picking up for her a team-leading 29th ace of the season. And that's going to be ace number 2 of the match, ace number 30 of her season. 6 consecutive points for Washington State, and California is going to need an early timeout. So with that, we will step away. Fair to say, all Washington State so far in this one. They've scored the first 6 points. It's Washington State 6, California nothing. We'll take a break and then return to Pullman and Buller Gym. This is Pac-12 Volleyball on Pac-12+. Back once again here to Buller Gymnasium. 6 straight points for Washington State. 3-0-4 for the Cougars. They're hitting .750. Cal yet to get on the board there. 0-1-2. Again, all of it's been with Carly Basham at the service line. She had the opening serve and hasn't left the service line. Mentioned that Washington State, right in the middle of a crowded top half of the conference, there's only 2 games that separate 2nd and 7th place in the Pac-12 conference. The Huskies, Ducks, and USC all tied at 8-3, tied 2nd through 4th. The Cougars are by themselves in 5th place at 7-4. Colorado and Utah tied right behind the Cougars for 6th and 7th, just a game behind Washington State at 6-5. Carly Basham, how about 3 consecutive aces? And it's now a 7-0 Washington State lead. Carly came in not only leading the Cougars in aces this season, and certainly has helped that number with now 3 more. She's got 31 now on the season, and is one of the leaders in the conference serving-wise for Washington State as well. And that's going to be 4 consecutive aces for Carly Basham, and it is 8-0 Washington State. So again, 4 consecutive aces here for Carly as she continues to do very well at the service line, and again has done well for a relatively good serving team for Washington State numbers-wise. There's the set to the outside for Cal. Good dig by Carly, but it'll be Ryan getting it back in play, and then Janssen from the back row. Right at the net, blocked back by Magda. And now going on the attack, Leah Schmidt. A good one-arm dig by Janssen. They go and collide in the back row, but now can Cal take advantage? They cannot. It is an attack into the antenna from Leah Schmidt. Don't know if Leah thought it went off the block and into the antenna, but it went off of Leah, and that'll go down as an attacking error, and a good scramble point for the Cougars for a 9th consecutive point to start off this opening set. It's now 9-0. Basham's next serve into the net, and that will finally give Cal their first opportunity at the service line and their first point of the match. And it will be Leah Schmidt to the service line, outside hitter from Westlake, Ohio for California. Difficult serve, and the Cougs will get it across with the free ball. Now the set to the right. Grote tries to put it away, but cannot. Now it's Katie Ryan going cross court. There's a battle at the net, and Katie Ryan will slam the door shut on California, trying to bring it back across, and an immediate side out for Washington State, and Julia Norval will check in with the Cougars leading 10-1. And for Katie Ryan, the sophomore out of Rathdrum, Idaho, the block for her to give the Cougars their 10th point. Here comes the next serve. Looks like they're going to give Katie a kill on that instead of a block, but in any case, got the point for Washington State. And then Lydia Grote, the quick side out for California. She'll get the point for California on what'll be a kill for them, and that's just their first kill of the day. The other point for Cal came on a Cougar service error. Now it's Magda with the tip. Esau comes up to play it. Now an awkward set, and it will be double contact on Peyton Desjardins. And the Cougars will get it on the side out. It's now 11-2. Mention Basham, and for her in the top 10 when it comes to serving numbers in the conference. And 4 consecutive aces here in the opening set. Now Timmer adds her first ace of the day. Mention this Cougar team at the service line. They have gotten their share of aces, but it's not all about the aces for Washington State, although that is their 139th of the season compared to only 94 so far from their opponents. But Pia getting the ace there, a tip over from California. Now it's Magda Yahalasheva to punch it the other way. Grote from the right side, blocked back by the Cougs. Now to the middle, and is that going to be a touch? No, it's going to be off of Michaela Haddon for an attacking error, and it's now 13-2 Washington State. Basham with 32 aces. The Cougars have 4 other players, including Timmer, with at least 20 aces on the season. Pia's second behind Carly on the team with 25 on the year. Looking for 26, but Cal's going to bring that one back in play and get it across, but it's going to be over. So back to my point, that doesn't go down as an ace by Pia Timmer, but certainly she's the one that caused the Cougars getting that point, putting Cal out of system. Well, again, it's all Washington State so far here in Pullman. They've scored 14 of the first 16 points. It's Washington State 14, California 2, and we step aside from Pullman. This is Pac-12 Volleyball on Pac-12 Plus. Well, it is all Washington State so far. Again, 14-2 in favor of the Cougars at this stage. And for Washington State, a chance here to try and grab an opening set in dominating fashion, trying to get off to a good start here on a Sunday. Again, the Cougars, their first loss at home coming Friday night at Bullard Gymnasium to the Stanford Cardinal. Other than that, the Cougs have won every match here in Pullman and have 4 more remaining in the conference. Timmer staying at the service line. Grote with the attack for Cal, but dug out by Timmer. And now it's Magda Halasheva on the slide getting the kill, and it's 15-2 Washington State. So 5th kill for Washington State, 5 aces to go along with it, and also 4 attacking errors for California. So the Cougs again off to the 15-2 start here in the opening set, and another good opening serve from Pia Timmer. Once again, free ball for Washington State. We'll set this time for Janssen, and they're going to call the Cougars this time in the net, and they'll call Lara trying to get to that one in the net for a net violation. So a side out. Cal will send in a couple of substitutions as they do run the 6-2, and Analea Mader, the other setter, will check in. She will head to the service line. The sophomore out of Switzerland now to serve. As she gets ready, and the southpaw hoists it into the air and sends it the Cougars' direction, and out goes on the attack, but dug out by Mader. And now the attempt from Desjardins, dug out by Washington State. Janssen looking for a line. They say it did touch a Cal there along the way. So Lara, who had 12 kills Friday night, will check in with her first. Again, due to all the aces and California attacking errors, not a ton of kills to this point for the Cougars. They have a half a dozen so far, but out to the 16-3 lead. Now Desjardins again, this time blocked down. Argentina Ung and Oranica Voduya team up on that one, and it's 17-3 Washington State. Cougars playing the final match of what's 4 straight at Bowler this afternoon, and then 4 straight on the road, and now Magda Yahalasheva will join the ace party. 7 aces for Washington State, or actually, I'm sorry, just 6 aces for Washington State. But a half a dozen of them so far here in the opening set. There's an attack this time from Michaela Haddon, and the freshman from Buford, Georgia, able to get California points. So a side out to the Golden Bears, and that will send another freshman, as Cal is a relatively young team, just the lone couple of juniors in their starting lineup. Now it's Laurie Johnson, the 5th-year senior for Washington State, to put it away in a side out, and it's now 19-4. But you look at the starting lineup, Schmidt, a junior, also a junior is Desaw. Grote, a junior as well. Kendall Jensen, one of their setters, a junior, but then 3 freshmen in their starting lineup as well for California. So again, it's a learning curve when you have that many youngsters, and it has been this season for Cal. There's Schmidt with the attempt. Janssen got to it. Timmer will send it back to Janssen. That one bounces off the net but clears. Now the attempt, that's going to end up a little bit wide and long off the attempt from Sydney Lelo Maeva, the senior out of Orange, California. And now the junior setter for Washington State, Argentina Ung, is at the service line. The attempt from Schmidt into the net. And the Cougars out to a 21-4 advantage here in set number 1. While the Cougars are hitting .375 in the set, California is hitting -294. They're bound to have numbers like that when you look at the scoreboard and it reads 21-4. Just about an overpass, but the setter gets to it and saves it, and then trying to dunk it home and getting it will be Leah Schmidt. She'll be credited with the kill, so Leah will get her first kill, and a side out to California, and it'll send Hayden to the service line for the Golden Bears. That one played by Janssen. Bodulia with the attempt. That'll get past the block attempt and down, so Bodulia will get into the attacking numbers. Will become the 5th Cougar player with a kill so far in the opening set, and a chance for Jen Graney to head to her bench with a 22-5 lead. And we've seen Golden come on and play, I don't know, quite a bit would be the word, but play some certainly in the back row and also serve, and she comes in now, the junior out of Castle Rock, Washington. She puts together a good serve, but Cal gets to it, then a good dig on right at Golden to keep the play going. Ryan has her attempt blocked back. One more time for Katie Ryan, dug out by Desaw. Now the punch across by Cal. Timmer lines one up and goes up the line to get the kill, and it's now 23-5. And for Pia Timmer, her 3rd kill. That's top so far. Again, the Cougs with 9 kills, only the 1 attacking error and 20 swings. They're hitting .400. And it's 23-5 now. Tipped across by Cal. Now Timmer with the tip of her own. Up to play at Schmidt. An attempt from the right side, but dug out by Ung. Now the Cougars from their right side, and Katie Ryan gets it past the block attempt. And that'll bring us to set point here in the opening set at Bowler Gymnasium. And the Cougars, who opened up with 9 in a row from Carly Basham, now a 24-5 lead and a chance now to try to finish it off with 4 consecutive points. Golden with the serve. The set to the middle. Good dig by Ung. Now they're going to whistle double contact on the set from Bodulia. So not on that point to secure the opening set, but 24-6 still, and the serve back to the starting setter, Kendall Jensen, who pops back into the lineup on a sub. Timmer plays the serve, and will track down the set. Timmer flies forward and puts that one away with her 4th kill. to take care of California in set number one. Well, Washington State dominating in the first set this afternoon. They knock off Cal 25-6. Cougars hit 435, Cal a minus 160. Add in a half a dozen Cougar aces in set number one. And again, the first set to the home team in a 25-6 dominating fashion. Take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the opening numbers from set number one and then get you ready for set number two. All right, set number one to Washington State, and they do it rather easily, 25-6 in favor of the Cougars. And the number is pretty dominating as well for Washington State. They had 435, did the Cougars, 11 kills, only one attacking error in 23 swings. Meanwhile, for Cal, they were in negative numbers, minus 160, as they had 3 kills, 7 attacking errors in 25 swings. Pia Timmer, 4 kills for Washington State. Katie Ryan had 3. The 3 kills for California, all separated amongst 3 different players. Meanwhile, again, for Washington State at the service line, 6 aces, 1 service error. Cal didn't have one of either. Meanwhile, 1 block for Washington State. They gave the block to Vodulia and Argentina Ung. And the Cougars again take set number one, 25-6. Pia Timmer again, the 12th Coug all time to reach 1,100 kills, closing in on Kelly Rosen for 11th place in Cougar history, and came into the match just 15 away from Brittany Johnson of getting into the top 10 all time in the Cougar record books. Good serve that time from Cal. They set it for Pia Timmer, and that one is going to be long on a chance for Pia Timmer. Cougar players say there was a touch on Cal. We'll see if Jen Greeny is going to issue the challenge card, and she will. So a challenge here as to whether or not there was a touch by California at the net on that attack from Pia Timmer. So again, the attempt here from the challenge. Also, the head coach of California talking to her down official as well, or down official Sergio Gonzalez, and perhaps discussing something of a lineup thing for Washington State. As far as a rotational issue, I couldn't really catch 100% of what they were saying, but I do know that Sergio Gonzalez is at the monitor looking for a potential touch at the net on California. All right, went through the opening set without a challenge, but here we are. Very first point is Sergio scrolling to try and find what he can find and see if there is anything to overturn the call that was originally whistled as an attacking error. UCLA and Utah underway in Salt Lake City. It's 2-0 in favor of the Bruins as they've taken the opening 2 sets. USC and Colorado are playing in Boulder, and they have split their opening 2 sets. Arizona is hosting the Oregon State Beavers. That's who the Cougars will play next in Corvallis coming up on Friday. And the Wildcats have taken an opening set. Still about a half an hour away from Oregon and Arizona State. And a big one across the state this afternoon at 2 o'clock. It'll be the Huskies and Stanford to wrap up your weekend of Pac-12 action. Again, standings-wise, you've got the Stanford Cardinal with their win over Washington State, a 2-game lead over the Huskies, Ducks, and Trojans. Stanford at 10-1. Meanwhile, for Washington, Oregon, and USC, they're all at 8-3. Then the Cougars check in at 7-4. So again, just a game out of that 3-way tie for second, but right there nipping on the Cougars' heels is Colorado and Utah, just a game behind Washington State. For Cal, of course, just looking for their first conference win, as the conference season has been tough for them, 0-11 so far. They have come to a decision after taking a look at the replay. They're going to say no touch, and the Cougars seem surprised by that. But Sergio Gonzalez going over to discuss things with Jen Greeny to see what he saw on the replay. And now the opening point to California as we get ready for play to resume here shortly, you would assume. We're, I think, just about ready to go, and we appear to be. And staying at the service line for California, it's going to be Mater. So here comes the serve from Mater. Meanwhile, it's an overpass. Trying to put it away is going to be Peyton Desjardins, and it's a side out to Washington State. And again, the California head coach continuing to discuss things with the down official as to whether or not there was a rotation error. Now they're going to give California the rotational error. As again, he was talking to Sergio about that during the replay. And now it is indeed going to be whistled against Washington State. So 2 consecutive points here for California. 1 on the attacking error, and now 1 here to where it looks as though Vodulia should have been in the lineup instead of Magdia Halasheva. All right, so 2-0 California, and good for the Cal head coach to spot what he saw as an error and get a point for his team. Here's the attempt from Vodulia, block back. Now it's Timmer with a shove up the line. And that's going to end up off of Mater and be a 5th kill of the match for Pia Timmer. And now in will come Magda. She will come in. And again, it'll be Magda in to play the front row along with Pia Timmer and Katie Ryan. All right, so a little bit of a rocky start as far as uneven with the replay and then a rotational issue, but we're going to try and get into the rhythm here in set number 2. We'll set to the outside for Timmer. That one will end up on what is the line for Pia Timmer. That'll be a kill for her and a point off the Carly Basham serve, and Pia up to now 6 kills on the day. So the first 2 points to California here in set number 2. The Cougs have evened things up now with back-to-back points of their own. Next attempt from California is an overpass from Basham, but then a block at the net by Magda, and then right at the net, and there to put it away is Pia Timmer. So the senior from Germany is leading the way offensively for Washington State. That now kill number 7, as she's sitting 7-1-9, and she's convinced it should be 8-0-9. She still, I think, thinks that that one was touched by California on the replay. Here's the attempt, and a block down by Magda Halasheva. Magda will help the Cougars with their 2nd block of the day. Magda, 3rd in total blocks in school history, 3rd in solo blocks, and 2nd in block assists. So again, we'll finish in the top 3 at least of all of the major blocking categories. Cougs have now scored 4 in a row and have taken a 4-2 lead. Basham's been at the service line during this run, just like she was at the start of the opening set. They scored 9 straight with her serving in the opening set, and now with her at the service line, 4 in a row off of her serve, and with the side out to get it to be her serve, it's 5 consecutive points for Washington State. So the senior from Louisville, streaky at the service line in a good way for Washington State. An overpass, or a free ball is what I should have said, and now putting it away will be Katie Ryan. Didn't end up being an overpass. It stayed on the Cal side of the net, but they did give the free ball to Washington State, and with Cal out of system, Katie Ryan feasts on that with a kill, her 4th of the day, and the Cougs have scored 6 in a row to now take a 6-2 lead. Mater setting to the outside. That's this time off the Cougars and out of bounds. So tooling it off the block attempt is Lilo Maeva, the senior out of Orange, California, and a side out to California. It's now 6-3. We'll set this time for Magda Halasheva, who will paint the sideline. Magda did her blocking things Friday night with 7, but also did a good job offensively as well as a 2nd Cougar along with Janssen to double digits in kills against Stanford. She had 12 Friday night. You know, that's her second today, and the Cougars up 7-3 now here in the second set. There's an attempt and a kill from Michaela Haddon, the freshman middle for California, to get the side out. Cougs took the opening set, and sometimes it doesn't matter in volleyball by how much or by how little, but it was impressive. 25-6 in that opening set. 7-4 so far. Cougars here in this set, and Magda will get the serve back for him on the slide. A good delivery from Ung, and Yahalasheva, the senior from the Czech Republic, gives the point to Washington State to make it 8-4. Pia Timmer had one of the half a dozen aces in set number one for Washington State, now serving. There to play it is Schmidt. Now an attempt for California, block back, and Janssen and Yahalasheva will team up on that one. Cougs only the one block in set number one, but that's their second here of the second set, and it's now a 9-4 Washington State lead. And Timmer once again to serve for the Cougs. Leah Schmidt with the attempt, and that time off of Washington State and out of bounds, so Leah Schmidt able to pick up the point for Cal. 9-5 Washington State is now Kendall Jensen checking in to serve. The setter, a junior out of Burbank, California. Ready to play at Norval. Now Timmer from the back row. Schmidt goes cross court, but that one a little too much on it as Basham got out of the way, and on the attacking error, it's a 10-5 Cougar lead. Schmidt does have a couple of kills, but also 4 attacking errors. Meanwhile, Basham, a well-deserved break over on the sideline, and Magda to serve, and now Magda Yahalasheva has an ace. So she will get her second ace. She's got 2. Basham's got 4. Timmer's got the other, so 7 total. 6 coming in the first set, and now their first of the second set, and that one just a little bit long. But 7 aces for Washington State. They've put together a few matches this season where they've piled up some aces in a hurry. Again, this team coming in third in the conference in aces per set, Washington State. Veronica Bodulia with the kill for Washington State, and it's now 12-6 in favor of the Cougars. They're a top 50 team in the country when it comes to aces per set. We mentioned the Cougs led by Carly Basham with her now 32 on the season, but they got another 4 with 20 plus. Set to the right, the attempt that time from Grote dug out. Now it's Timmer from the back row, and that's off of Jensen and unplayable. So 13-6 Washington State. Pia Timmer's 9th kill of the day, so her next one will not only get her to double digits, but will put her in a tie with Kelly Rosen for 11th all time in Cougar history. Here's the set to the right, and that's a cross-court kill for Lydia Grote. And the Cougars will succeed in getting a couple of points before the side out from California. Now the Golden Bears a chance to try and go on a run of their own, but they've had little opportunity to do so far in this match. Desaw going to try and start the run at the service line. A good dig from her. Set to the outside, and a dig on the opposite side by Basham. Now Timmer with the back row tip. That one dug out by Washington State. We keep going on the attempt now from Katie Ryan. Longest point of the match so far as Grote tries to put it away, but we keep going on the good dig from Ung. Now Janssen partially blocked at the net. Grote from the right side waiting for it. They're going to say that one on the line. Lengthy rally between the two sides, but Lydia Grote able to pick up a second consecutive kill. She's got 3 now to lead the way for Cal, and the Golden Bears get back to within 5 now at 13-8. Bodulia gonna find the far sideline, far from where we're sitting. And Bodulia has had a few kills now on the board, and it's 14-8 Washington State. The serve now from Janssen. Set to the middle, and Michaela Hayden, I should say, able to get the kill now for California. Cal, again, we mentioned the 0-11, and they've had a hard time claiming sets, but in a lot of sets, they've kept it close. They just haven't been able to finish off a lot of sets, and if you can't finish off a lot of sets, you can't win a lot of matches. There's a service there from Nader, and on the side out, the Cougars the first to 15. They take a 15-9 lead here in set number 2. This after winning the opening set 25-6. Now the serve from Basham. Set to the right, and a block down that time by Pia Timmer. Magda Yahalasheva may get a block assist as well for her third. It will be the first block for Pia. And the Cougars able to take now a 16-9 lead, and Magda does indeed get credit for the assist on the block, and that'll be her third. It's the Cougars who fell behind a couple, now up 16-9. But a side out for California, and another kill for their freshman middle, Michaela Hayden. Hayden and Grote, the best offensive day so far for California. Just not enough from them or from others to keep them in this one. Meanwhile, a diving attempt by Ung to keep that one going, but California will win the duel at the net, and California with back-to-back points, trying to climb back into this set. It's now 16-11. Timmer with the pass, but that ends up being a service ace for Cal. That'll be their first of the day, and picking it up is going to be Peyton Desjardins, the freshman from Pasadena, California. First 3-0 scoring run for California in the match. So again, trying to make this set more competitive, and already have them the first, but trying to hang in, and the Cougars trying to pull away. Meanwhile, they're going to say that was down on the sideline. Looked like they initially were calling it one way, but it was in, and I think they were just pointing the wrong direction, which confused some people, but Magda does get credit for her fourth kill, and it's 17-12, and Norval now serving for Washington State. From the right side, a good dig from Janssen on the attempt that time from Desjardins. Now the set to the right, and a cross-court attempt, and Sydney Lilomaeva able to pick up the kill for California. And they are once again within 4 at 17-13, and a substitution coming from California. Checking in will be Natalie Lau, a freshman from San Francisco, who will come in to play the back row and serve. Will probably give way to libero when her service time is done, but we'll see. Timmer, meanwhile, able to put it away off the serve receive, and Cal will indeed bring in their libero Desa. She will make her way in after the side out. By the way, Timmer, her 10th kill, so the first to double digits, and again, now tied with Kelly Rosen for 11th all time and 5 outside of the top 10 in Cougar history for most kills in a career. Nader comes over to the scorer's bench to get that one back in play, knocked over. Basham got to it, but an overpass. Cal can't put it away though, and now Yahalasheva, an attempt that's dug out. Another attempt from the Golden Bears, and again, Lilo Maeva able to get the point for California. Kelly Rosen played here in Pullman right before the Cougs got into this era. She was back in the early to mid 2000s was a really good player, just unfortunately not quite enough around her at the time, but she again 11th all time, and P has matched her. And again 5 away from Brittany Johnson, who played right after Kelly. Here's the serve from Yahalasheva. Set to the outside for Grote. That one partially blocked at the net. Cougars cover. Now Timmer from the back. An errant pass that time from Lydia Grote. And another point to Washington State. And another point to Pia Timmer. Sam Crossan going to call a timeout as he was checking to see if he had 1 or 2. And he'll go ahead and take his first of the set. Opening set to Washington State, 25-6. This one a little more competitive, but the Cougars up 20-14. And we'll come back with more Pac-12 volleyball from the Palouse after this on Pac-12 Plus. Well, California has righted the ship some here in the second set. Remember, they were 3-7-25 in that opening set and hit -160. Here in the second set, 10-4-27. Hitting 222, but the Cougars again pretty efficient on their attack again. After hitting 435 in the opening set, Washington State is hitting 478 here in set number 2. And so far for the day, the Cougars are hitting 457, while California hitting 038. Add in the service line where the Cougars have 7 aces compared to California Bears 1, and that pretty much tells the story of this one. So we're back into action. Janssen gets a pass to Cal attempt, but a nice job by Grote to keep it alive, and the Cougars unable to get the point, but they are going to get it on a net violation against California. So they'll call a Golden Bear in the net, so that means Maggia Halashva at the service line with the Cougars leading 21-14. The set for Grote. Up the line and finding the corner is Lydia Grote. Again, she and Michaela Haddon have led the way for California so far on this one. They have 4 kills apiece. And again, the offense looking better for California. They're just having a hard time slowing down the Cougars. And speaking of which, Laurie Janssen putting one away across court. Janssen been a little bit quiet compared to what we've seen from her in recent weeks, but she now has her 3rd kill. And the Cougars leading 22-15 now. Washington State up a set and trying to take a second here with a 7-point lead as we get late going set number 2. Set to the middle, and this time Sophie Scott picking up the point for California, the freshman from Portland, making her way back to the Northwest this weekend. Esau to serve. Set to the outside for Katie Ryan, dug out, right to the net. Good get by Jensen, but a free ball for Washington State. Boduya gonna miss the sideline on the attacking air. A point to California. The 5'5" junior from Hawaii, the libero for California, will stay at the service line. To the outside for Ryan. Good get by Schmidt in the back row. And a ball that goes into the corner from Peyton Desjardins. So a well put together point there from Cal as they've scored 3 in a row. And have closed to within 4 now at 22-18. Timmer will play the serve. Katie Ryan this time, that one too much for the California defense to handle. 6'5", sophomore from Rathdrum, Idaho. 5th kill of the afternoon, and the Cougars within a couple of trying to take a 2-0 lead here at Bowler on a Sunday afternoon. Set to the right, almost out of the reach of Grote, and just couldn't quite put enough on it as the Set was coming further to the back than Grote wanted as she was coming towards the net, and she was 6'5" maybe. Her 6'2" frame was able to get a fingertip on it, but it'll be an attacking error, and that'll set up set point here for Washington State. Set to the middle, a block back this time by Bodulia and Katie Ryan. Cougars with just the one block in the opening set, but that's their fourth of set number 2, and that will also take care of California in set number 2. Again, all Washington State in the opening set, 25-6, as California played better in the second set, but still not enough. It was the Cougars 25 and California 18. Again, 7 Cougar aces. They've outdug California by 9, and not only a 10-kill advantage for the Cougars, but also in that advantage, the Cougars have hit .434 while Cal has hit just .069. So the home team, who suffered their first home loss of the season Friday night to Stanford, looking to get back on the winning side of things and off to a good start so far. They lead Cal 2-0, and the Cougar fans pretty happy so far on a Sunday in Bowler. We'll see if it continues. We'll come back and get you ready for the third set as the Cougars will go for a sweep of Cal when we return to the Palouse. It's Pac-12 volleyball from Bowler Gymnasium in Pullman, and it's on Pac-12 Plus. Well, we get ready for set number 3 here from Bowler Gymnasium. The Washington State University Cougars up 2-0, 25-6. 25-18 in the opening 2 sets. The Cougars, when they've won the opening set, have gone undefeated so far this season. For California trying to bounce back to try and at least send this one to 4, but it's been an uphill battle with the Cougars hitting better than 400 so far in the match, hitting .434 there. Serving and passing relatively well, serving especially. How about 7 aces so far for Washington State? Just a couple of service errors. Meanwhile, for Cal, 1 ace and 2 service errors. And they've gone on some runs, especially with this player at the service line, Carly Basham, as she'll start off set number 3, and she'll start it off with an ace. She had 4 consecutive aces during a 9-0 run to start off the match. And that now her 5th ace of the match. Cougars with their 8th now as far as a team, and it's a 1-0 start for Washington State. Mentioned Carly leading the team in aces. She now has 33 on the season with her 5 so far today. Grote able to play that one on the sideline. Now Basham into the setting roll after the dig from Ung. Ryan tries to put it away. Now it's Sophie Scott trying to get the kill for California. Will, and also the Cougars whistled into the net. By the way, Carly approaching, but not there with her 5 aces as far as the most in her career. Earlier this season in the non-conference, Carly had 7 aces against Belmont in a tournament. Set to the right for Katie Ryan, dug out by California. There's an attempt over on the tip. Cougars will set up Yahalasheva, but will block back, and that time Michaela Hayden getting just the second block for California so far in this match, as she goes up to take care of that attempt, and Cal will get the point. They will take the lead at 2-1. Now Yahalasheva, that one dug out. Now over the net, I believe, is going to be Hayden. She was, as that time it was punched across, and Hayden was there at the net, but Argentina Ung was set at net and was still on the Cougar side, and Hayden went over the top of the net to play it. And on the infraction, a side out to Washington State, and we're even at 2 apiece. There's another good serve from a Washington State server. Hayden having a good start to this third set with the block, and now can add a kill to it. She now has 5. Again, it's been her and Grote for the most part. Hayden now with 5 leading the way, and we saw Natalie Lau check in last set to serve, and she checks in now to do the serving for California. Janssen there to play it. Set for Yahalasheva, who goes cross-court. Magda now with 5 kills to go along with her 3 blocks and 2 aces. So a good all-around game for the senior out of the Czech Republic. And now Pia Timmer, who's led the way offensively for the Cougars with 11 kills at the service line. She also has an ace. Set this time for Leah Schmidt, who will get the kill for California. Cal hoping she can get her numbers up. That is her 3rd kill, but she also has 4 attacking errors. But if she can get going and keep the others going at their pace, a chance for Cal to try and first stay competitive and then a chance to perhaps take a set. And Schmidt now adding another point to the California total at the service line. So Cal 5 of the first 8 points and off to their best start in any of the 3 sets so far. Another good serve, a good get, but an overpass by Washington State. And now Grote goes for it. It's blocked back. Grote, another attempt. That one long, just over the hands of the Cougar block, and will be an attacking error. 5-4 California. Early lead here in set number 3 as they try and stay in the set. The Cougars are trying to finish it off in a sweep. That one a little long from Yahalasheva, and on the service there, California will get the serve back. 1 sweep in the books in Pac-12 play today, and that's UCLA, who had a tough start to the season but has been playing better as of late. They go to Salt Lake City and take care of Utah in 3 straight. Janssen getting the kill for Washington State. And she hasn't had to carry the load so much today. That's 4 kills for her and 6 swings. Again, it's kind of been the Cougars picking up the bulk of the points when she's been in the back. So it's been Timmer and Yahalasheva, along with Katie Ryan at times, the bulk of the Cougar offense. On the attack goes Mater, but a good dig by Basham, and then a tip over and down from Janssen. So now she has back-to-back kills. Becomes the 4th Cougar with at least 5, the 5th-year transfer from the Netherlands. Again, career that got started at Arkansas Little Rock and now approaching 1,400 kills in her collegiate career as Janssen. Set to the outside, a block back this time from Katie Ryan on Lydia Grote's attempt. Katie Ryan has been blocking better in the last couple of weeks for the Cougars, and she gets one there for Washington State. Cougars have taken the lead now at 7-6. Going at the service line. Into the net for a service error, so now we are even at 7 apiece. And the serve will go to Californian Mater. All right, the serve from Mater, played by Janssen. Set this time for a tip from Katie Ryan, and that one's on the line. So Katie Ryan with a half a dozen kills. Cougars continue to hit better than 400. They're at 435 so far in this match, and California just a little below 100 for their hitting percentage. 8-7 Washington State, set number 3 from Pullman. And now even once again on a kill from Lydia Grote as we're tied at 8. Lydia got a chance to play against her sister Friday night, Marin, who plays for the Huskies. And so they were on opposite sides of the net over at Alaska Airlines Arena. Here now is Katie Ryan adding another kill to her total. Give her 7 now, so a good day for the sophomore opposite hitter. And the Cougars again seesaw in front 9-8. Carly Basham again serving for the Cougars. And the serve for the senior out of Louisville, Kentucky. Set to the right, dug out by Janssen. Now blocked this time by California. Leah Schmidt and Sophie Scott getting the third block of the day for California. And that will even us one more time as we're on level playing terms in set number 3. It's 9 aside. And the serve from Cal over. Yahalashva has a block back, and so Leah Schmidt and Michaela Hayden that time on the block, and the lead will bounce back over to the Golden Bears. It's now 10-9 in favor of California. Timmer plays the serve, set to the back row, and another block as Hayden gets to that one for her 4th of the day. So Michaela Hayden, just a freshman. We'll be seeing her a while if she stays put in Berkeley. She's been able to get a couple of solos as far as her 4 blocks this afternoon. Now Katie Ryan with the attempt. Cal gets to it. Schmidt goes. This time it's the Cougar block at the front. Magda Yahalasheva and Katie Ryan. Okay, that last block that I said Katie had to Argentina instead of giving it to Katie, that one should go down now as at least a block for Katie, and will. Magda now has 4 on the day, and it's 11-10 California as we approach the midway point in set number 3. Overpass, can't quite put it away, and it's punched across by California. Now Timmer collecting a cross-court kill right between a couple of California players, and neither could play it cleanly. So Pia now to 12 kills, 3 shy of joining the top 10 in school history when it comes to career kills. Normal serve, played by Grote. Set to the outside for Schmidt, a block but covered by Cal. Now from the right side, a kill that time for Sydney Leomaeva. And Cal gets a side out after the Cougs had forced an 11-all tie with the side out. California back up by a point. Lau back in to serve, getting some encouragement from the sideline. There to play it, Yahalasheva, setting up Timmer, waits, the tip. Kept alive, Schmidt tries to put it away, punched right back across. Now Hayden looking for a sideline, and again, Michaela Hayden having a really good third set here for California. 3 kills, couple of blocks, and California taking a 13-11 lead. Setting for Timmer, her tip falls in. 13 kills, just 2.5 sets into it so far for Pia Timmer. So again, a really productive day for her, considering we're only midway through the 3rd set, that she's up to 13 kills, and she's gotten there by hitting 550 so far on the afternoon. 13, 2 and 20 for the senior out of Germany. There's the set to the outside for Leah Schmidt. They'll call the Cougars in the net. They'll call the Cougars setter for a net violation. And Cal able to pick up the point. 14-12 now in favor of Cal, and Leah Schmidt serving. As the Cougars get ready for that serve, and it'll be played by Norval. Now Timmer from the back row, and Pia Timmer with the kill. That's number 14 on the day. So that means the next Pia Timmer kill will put her in to the top 10 in career kills in Cougar history. It brings the Cougars to within 1 in the set. There's the set to the outside for Grote, but miss hits, and the Cougars with back-to-back points have evened things up now at 14 aside. If you're just joining us, the Cougars took the opening set 25-6. Second set 25-18. Meanwhile, even so far here in the third at 14 apiece. Michaela Hayden has been a big reason why Cal has been able to stay with the Cougars so far in set number 3. She is up to 7 kills now, 4 of them here in this set, and also has a couple of blocks in this set, and has given California 15-14 lead with that last kill. There's the serve, but it's long from Jensen. So even again, this time at 15 apiece. Katie Ryan in to play the front row. Ung will go to the service line. Washington State wrapping up a 4-match homestand, trying to go 3-1 in the 4. Here's a set to the outside for Lydia Grote, who goes cross court for a kill. Lydia with a half a dozen kills, right behind Hayden on the California attack. Mentioned the Cougars right there in the mix when it comes to the top half of the conference. With Utah losing today, they've fallen to 6-6. UCLA moves to 5-7. Colorado has taken a 2-1 lead over USC in Boulder. That's one of the 3 teams just ahead of the Cougars in the standings. Butch, meanwhile, staying loose on the sidelines. Don't think we'll go to him as a sub later today, but who knows? There's an ace from California, and Nader will pick up the ace. So the Bears go up a couple again. It's now 17-15. California, again, been in some of these sets this season where they've been right there. They've just had a hard time closing a lot of them. Meanwhile, Ari Janssen coming alive a little bit more here in this set. She now has a half a dozen kills. And that'll bring the Cougars to within 1 at 17-16. Janssen now to serve for Washington State. And she takes the deep breath, and now the 5th-year transfer sends it to Cal's side. Grote from the right. Cougars there to play it. Now Katie Ryan partially blocked at the net. Grote one more time, and this time gets it through the block attempt and down. Lydia Grote now with 7 kills, and a timeout taken by Jen Graney. Well, back here to Pullman. Butch trying to fire up the crowd during the timeout. Cougars taking the opening 2 sets, as you see, relatively easy, certainly in the first set, 25-6, 25-18 in the second, but California not only with the 18 points here in the 3rd set, but out to an 18-16 lead as Jen Graney and the Cougars calling that timeout. Cal with their best hitting performance so far of the match, hitting .261. Cougars hitting .286, but so far it's been a good day attacking-wise for Washington State, hitting .392 for the day, the .286 the worst so far of the 3 sets so far for Washington State. Ball across the corner and ends up hitting the leg of the corner linesman, so that'll be a service error for Lydia Grote. And a side out to Washington State as they will get to within 1 here at 18-17. Meanwhile, the serve to Carly Basham. She's gone on some runs for the Cougars at that service line. The attempt from Cal, a good dig from Ung, and at the net a duel and a joust, but a good get by Basham before it's sent back California's way. A block at the net by Magda Halasheva, kept alive by Cal, and Schmidt sends it over. Now Magda one more time, another dig from Desaw. It's across the net. There to hit it back the other way is Katie Ryan finding an open spot on the court. A lot of back and forth, but Katie finally finds a spot where they ain't. And that'll be her 8th kill, and with back-to-back points out of the timeout, we are tied again. Their 11th tie of this 3rd set, as it's 18 apiece. Here's the set to the right, and a kill that time for California and Lilo Maeva, and Cal again able to pop out in front by a point, 19-18. Here's the next serve. There to play it will be Janssen. Set for Pia Timmer. Stays on the California side after the block attempt. Lila Maeva has it blocked back. Now it's Leah Schmidt's turn. Basham there for the dig. Setting for Pia Timmer. That's off a hand of the Golden Bears. Now Lila Maeva hits it over. To the right side for Katie Ryan, who goes up the line one more time. And the sophomore approaching double digits with her 9th kill. Meanwhile, we've now been tied a dozen times in this set. And our most recent tie brings us to 19-0. We've had 3 lead changes and 12 ties in this third set after the Cougars won wire to wire. We had 1 tie and 1 lead change early in the second set. This set much more competitive though. Timmer has that one blocked back, and that was into the eye of Pia Timmer as that one blocked back by the California front row. I'll make sure the P is okay. Meanwhile, the block from California makes it 20-19, their 6th block of the afternoon. And here comes the next serve from California. The set this time from Magda, kind of miscommunication, but she's able to clear the net. Schmidt goes up, block back. Here comes the attempt from Schmidt, block back again. One more time for Schmidt, tries to tool it, can't. Norval to Ung. Pia Timmer with the tip, scooped up by Cal. And now one more time for Pia Timmer, and that time taking out her frustrations, puts it away, and with that kill, has moved into the top 10 all-time in career kills at Washington State. We'll have more for that on the other side of the break, but Pia joining the top 10 in the Cougar record books. The Cougars, meanwhile, have tied the third set. It's 20 apiece between Cal and Washington State. And we're back after this on Pac-12 Plus. Well, 20 apiece, set number 3 here from Bowler Gymnasium. As you can see, the Cougars have taken the opening 2 sets and are looking for a sweep this afternoon. Meanwhile, for California, playing their best set of the match, trying to keep this thing going. Pia Timmer, 15 kills so far. And again, we're only in the third set, but with those 15 kills, she has moved into the top 10 all-time in career kills in Cougar history. She moved past Kelly Rosen, who was 11th all-time earlier, and she has now tied Brittany Johnson, who played here from 2005 through 2008, both now with 1,118 kills in their career. Of course, P is still going. There's an overpass, and Maggia Halasheva will win the joust at the net with Annalie Mader, and after our 13th tie of the third set, we now have our 4th lead change. And the Cougars have seesawed back in front. It's 21-20. Timmer again from the service line. There to play at Schmidt. Set this time in the back row for Grote. It's blocked back by Halasheva. Schmidt now, blocked back again, and it's Argentina Ung and Magda Yahalasheva. Magda, who knows a thing or two about top 10 lists, and the blocking category adds another her tremendous career total. She now has 5. It's 22-20 Washington State as they've scored 3 in a row. That serve will be short though and into the net. Mentioned that Pia has moved past Callie Rosen and into a tie with Brittany Johnson. Has a ways to go for 9th place though. Not terribly far, but she's not going to get there today. She's now 62 behind J.C. Harris for 9th all-time. Bad time for a service error for California, but they give the point to the Cougars, and it's now 23-21 in favor of Washington State. And the serve to come here from Yahalasheva. Schmidt plays it, but outside the intent, and Yahalasheva will give the Cougars their 9th ace. Sam Crossan will call timeout, but we'll keep things here. We mentioned 9th ace of the day for Washington State. Magda now with her 3rd of the day. Basham's got 5. And for California, they've been in a lot of matches where, again, they've had sets like this, and they just can't find ways to finish those sets off. They were in 2 sets like this with the Huskies on Friday night. Dropped the opening set 27-25. The second set 25-22 before falling in the third 25-19. Now the Cougars with a lot of breathing room in their first 2 sets. Again, 25-6 in the first, 25-18, but this one's been more of a battle here in set number 3. So for California, again, you can take a look at the 0-11. You can take a look that they've been swept a lot, but they've been competitive in a lot of the matches and a lot of the sets. Now, the question is why aren't you getting those sets? Is it a growing up thing where you have too many youngsters and you just need to learn how to win, or are you missing a piece? So again, with a very young team, those are questions that you have to answer, and sometimes they don't get answered until the next year. But I do think this Cal team has got some potential. But again, this is another one of those sets that they just have not been able to find a way to put away, and now they're facing not only a match point from Washington State, but 3 of them. And the senior from the Czech Republic, Magia Halasheva, trying to put it away here for Washington State. That serve is going to be played by Schmidt. Set to the right, and there's a cross-court kill from one of the young players for California who has certainly shown some promise here in this third set. And that's Michaela Hayden, who picks up her 8th kill. 24-22 Washington State. Now the Cal Golden Bears need a couple of points from Kendall Jenner off her own serve. The set to Lara Janssen, and she will put it away. A somewhat quiet afternoon for the 50-year transfer, but she does pick up the kill. That'll be her 7th. And the Washington State Cougars will pick up their 3rd set victory, and we'll get this done in a sweep this afternoon. 25-22 in the third. 25-6 in the first. Complete domination by Washington State. Cal a little bit more competitive in the second. And then again, the third, it was a battle, but the Cougars get it done 6-18-22. And with the win, the Cougars will, at bare minimum, stay in 5th place in the conference. Could move up a spot or 2, depending on what happens later today in the conference. But the Cougars, with this victory, do pick up another win here at home. They've lost only 1 time here at Bowler Gymnasium. And the Cougars are now 8-4 in the conference and 16-7 overall. For California, again, it's been a tough go for them. They're continuing to be winless in the conference. They're 0-12, and they've dropped to 7-15. This place has been nice to Washington State so far this season when it comes to playing at Bowler Gymnasium. Again, they have just the 1 loss, and that loss coming at the hands of the Stanford Cardinal. Meanwhile, the next 2 weeks for Washington State will be on the road. First in Oregon, then in the desert, and then the final 2 weeks of the season here. Cougars pretty much dominating the stat line, 42 kills compared to Cal's 28. They outdig the Golden Bears 39-30. They got those aces going early with 6 in the opening set, and out-ace them and outdo them at the service line, 9 aces compared to California's 3. Pia Timmer led the way offensively with 15 kills. Katie Ryan had 9 kills for Washington State. And again, Pia, with her 15 kills this afternoon, ties Brittany Johnson for 10th all time and has now moved in to the top 10 list in that attacking category of most kills in Cougar history. It was a good couple of weeks at home. The lone loss coming to a nationally ranked Stanford team. And now it's on to the Willamette Valley, where the Cougars will take on Oregon State and Oregon coming up. Meanwhile, California, they've got a few matches at home coming up in the near future that they will try and pick up their first conference win. That's going to do it for us here from Bowler Gymnasium. So happy you could join us on a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday that saw the Cougars pick up a victory, and they do it in straight sets over California, 25-6, 25-18, and 25-22, with Pia Timmer leading the way with 15 kills. We'll talk to you down the road. Until then, thank you so much for joining us from Bowler Gymnasium. Washington State over Cal in straight sets. And you've been listening and watching Pac-12 volleyball right here on Pac-12 Plus.